Yeah, getting close to the end of camp here. Just talk about how you feel like it's going.
It's going real well. You know, pressing out the heat, you may have a tendency to lose focus. I would say the team's really doing well in that area, especially defensively, as far as being around more of the defensive side. When we call it up at the practice, we always talk about how the offense did, and from what I hear from Coach Lance, the offense usually does a well job of it. So I feel like for the most part, fall camp, the emphasis was getting out in the heat, getting out more in full pads, and practicing hard, and I feel like the team's been doing that well.
Just talk about for you, you got a taste of defensive end, get a little bit more of it this preseason. How's it been for you?
It's been fun, really. I have been playing inside a little more in the past week. Coach wants to emphasize that I am still a defensive tackle, but defensive end has been fun. Like I said in the past, I appreciate his confidence in me to be able to play both positions. It's really times where I'll go in with one group and then we'll do another team, and he'll jump me right into D tackle. And I'm even amazed that I still remember some of the plays. And again, it goes back to him having confidence that I can do that.
So we anticipate playing both positions in some games?
Definitely.
Just talk about some shuffling around defensive line, 3-man, 4-man, do a lot of different things. Is it pretty fun to kind of do some different things like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember last year at one point, we had a five down line package. I mean, a 3-4 kind of look. We did lose edge rusher and Carr, but I mean, we really have some guys really evolving and advancing. I can go even into freshmen like Rashid, who's really been excelling the past couple of weeks. So Jamel President, we still got Lambert. Those guys really been doing well the past couple of weeks. So I mean, I can tell you it's 15 days away and how anxious I am, but it's really been more impressive to watch these young guys come together the last couple of weeks.
What kind of sets Rashid apart?
His speed and size. Honestly, I don't know the last time we had a 6'5", lanky speed defensive end. D4 was Lewin, 6'2", Carr's even, kind of a 6'2" guy. But, he really sets the tone with his speed rush. And, the bigger he gets over the years and, the more experience he gains, then he'll learn how to use more power and stuff.
Do y'all let Casanova call himself a defensive lineman, or does he still have to call himself a linebacker?
Cass definitely still a mighty linebacker. and he's been doing a good job of it. He's been getting after guys, and that's something that we really didn't see too much last year of. I mean, it may have been because because he wasn't the Mike, but he is the Mike now. And he's really been setting the tone good.
Has been when he's on those times when he's gone rushed off the edge.
Oh, he's been good. Yeah, he's been real good. He really has some pass rush trait, as Coach G would call it. It's sometimes it may not look like a move is fundamentally correct, but that's just because he hasn't had the time to perfect that craft. But I mean, it's times where he'll do a spin move. It may not be the way Coach is teaching it, but he still finds a way to, to get upfield and get to the quarterback. And so he's really been excelling coming out the edge.
How's Elijah been doing this fall?
Elijah's been doing good. His only thing was learning to focus and really just do your job, which is typical coming off of freshman year. He played inside on down packages last year, and I think he had 4 or 5 sacks doing it. So this year, he's really looking at a bigger role, that being a starter or whatever the case may be.
Some of the players have said Elijah needs to kind of calm down a little bit, I guess, and get a little bit hyped up or aggressive, overly so. What have you seen from him about that growing up a little bit?
You say he needs to get more hype?
Or like,
I don't know. If Elijah gets more hype, I think that might be dangerous. Elijah has all the enthusiasm in the world. Typical, before practice scenery, guy might not be as amped up. Elijah's usually the most amped up guy. So that is what I mean by being a starter, being able to keep your composure. I say that's something that he's just going to have to learn with experience, and luckily he does have 5 seniors to look at for that.
Back in media days, I asked you about could you envision what it would be like to play without Nick, without Jonathan, or at least not for them not to start, and you really had a hard time envisioning what that would be like. Now that that's going to be a reality, that at least they're not going to start the opener, what does that look like to you?
I mean, hard to say, honestly. Tell you what, if I were in that position and a guy had to say what it feel like playing without Gabe, then I would expect for him to answer with just doing the same thing that he would do. I mean, I know I would go about my normal game experiences, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the 11 or the rest of the team would do the same. If they're suspended from not starting, then then that is just the case. That's really how I got in that situation.
You mentioned that if the seniors have to kind of come together again and address some of these issues, have since media days, since you guys got back together, have the seniors, either amongst themselves or with the whole team, addressed any of these issues?
Absolutely. It's definitely been emphasized and it's definitely been put into play.
Yeah, talk about Mon. What have you seen out of him? You talked about Elijah, kind of that second year for him. What about Mon? What have you seen out of him?
Mon is, well, I can't say he's the most freakish athlete, you know, because that may be me. But Mon's definitely on the way. I mean, Mon's definitely one of the top tier guys. He's another guy, you know, who has all the high energy, all the time in the world, and I really feel like this season he can really put it all together. Coach G's been hard on him, you know, just like he is, you know, all the guys, but Mon's definitely taking coaching a lot better than he was his freshman year. I can tell he's really grasped, not taking, you know, coaching personal. So, you know, it's easy for me to really praise him and day.
Those two guys, two 5-star guys, do they look that way to you now? Like 5-star kind
Elijah
of?
and Mon?
Yeah, Elijah and
Oh,
Mon.
no doubt. I mean, I could tell last year it was only a matter of time to, you know, till things start to tick. You know, guys may get down about playing time and such, and I always tell them, I mean, you know, I put all the pressure on myself coming out as a freshman, but you know, things didn't really start to tick the way I would like them to do until my third year. So, you know, you just got to kind of go with, you know, the coaching and learn how to take that in, learn how to, you know, use that, you know, come on Saturday, and I feel like those guys definitely gonna do that this year.
You mentioned Devontae. What have you seen from him?
Lambert?
Yeah, about how he's progressed. Clearly, Rodney's pretty high on him, so he's competing with Elijah to possibly start. So what have you seen from him?
Yeah, that's been probably the most fierce battle, actually. Lambert and Elijah. You know, Elijah is a little bit off the edge. You know, that just being he's more of a 260 in, me and Lambert being in 285, 290 range. But Lambert has a good combination of bullying, which is really, it's going to make a tackle do, you know, one or more things. So off of that bull, he can also do, you know, other quick moves. And that's some of the things Coach G likes in the first and second down packages with me and Lambert.
Gabe, there's been so much made about the weight that you've lost. I mean, are you where you want to be right now as far as weight wise?
Absolutely.
Where is that? Like what last time you weighed in, what was it?
291 at the practice today. So.
And you know, you mentioned a minute ago, like you didn't want to say that Mon was the best previous athlete because I might be you, but I think it was Ellis up here a couple of weeks ago said that you might be the best defensive end and the best defensive tackle. How does that make you feel when you hear that?
I don't know. I mean, for me, like I said, it really just goes back to the confidence of my coach for allowing me, you know, to play both. I know I'm a defensive tackle. That's what I trained for this summer. You know, I wanted to slim down. I wanted to get trimmer. And in doing that, and then from showing my coach from last season, you know, mentally and physically, being able to play defensive end, that just goes into me being able to move outside. You know, he wanted to move me outside last year. I just wasn't mentally ready. So, but I mean, there's no doubt mine, Elijah, and some of these other guys, Angelo could be right in the top tiers of guys. You know, I'm definitely not alone in being the best tackle, best defensive end. I'm definitely in a big group on that D-line.
Numbers wise on the D-line, how does it compare to last year? Just the number of guys who you think can play and win?
I mean, you know, I'm sorry, I had the candy in the whole time. You know, as far as injury goes, you know, we've had some nicks and knocks, you know, these past couple weeks, you know, or months, as you all know, you know, with Carl and Ladarius. So if we had those guys, I would say, you know, we're pretty well stout. You know, Coach G likes to have 5 defensive tackles and 5 defensive ends. And I remember before those guys got hurt, I think he said he might have to move it to 12 at one point. But I believe we'll still be able to get those 10-guy rotation. Devereaux's been looking well, Lambert's been doing well, and there's freshmen like Andrew and Rashid who can really help us.
Yeah, you talked about halfway to the first game, the start of practice, what kind of progress you guys have made and what you need to get better at.
I would say we're still sticking to the basics. You know, of course, we're going to put in new blitzes and new situational packages, but for the most part, I've just been really proud on how the team, well, I'll just stick with defensively, has been progressive. I mean, honestly, we wanted to stick to the basics, get fits. The run game is really important to us, and, you know, we don't have, you know, a tune-up game per se. You know, we're jumping right into the SEC, so that'll be most important going into our first game is run fits and just being able to have a base call that we can really perfect.
How do things change for you guys now? You've been through it several times already, but when you kind of flip the switch fully here in a couple of days and start working on that first opponent, does the energy level change for you guys?
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, getting into next week, you know, with school starts and getting to the regular scheduled program, you know, that's definitely going to put guys more into it. I can tell you about Tuesday and Wednesday of game week when those RVs start rolling in. That's when things just get really anxious, you know. But that's 2 weeks away, and we really talk about one practice at a time for a reason, because that's really how we take it. I mean, I really like the concept of before practice we have a team meeting, and Coach Malzahn really kind of gets everybody composed, show us the schedule, and then we kind of go about it from there, So I'm pretty sure we'll get more into, game type situations as we go. We've started to progress in that area, but I can guarantee the nerves are starting to crank up. I mean, it's cranking up for me, and I'm going on my 4th year.
You mentioned that it took you 3 years to kind of get to where you wanted to go. Do you still feel like you can kind of have a breakout year as a senior?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this was last year. All I have, no doubt. No doubt that it wasn't. Coach G I appreciate Coach G because, though I had, the best year I've had, he still treats me as though, it's nothing. I mean, it's easy for me to say this because, I really think that's what makes him a good coach, his drive, his push, the way he can affect you mentally, to bring that out of you, that's really something I think that makes him one of the top coaches in the country. And so there's no doubt, with his push and the involvement of my teammates, there's no doubt my level of, improvement will improve, and so will the rest of the line.
Do you feel pressure to have a huge year?
Pressure? I mean, I still feel like there's room for improvement for myself. So as far as me and my confidence, yes, there's some things that I want to get done. I don't have to state those things publicly, for me to feel better, in that area. But inside myself, yes, I know if I had a good year last year, then I definitely want to be great.
What would you tell these young guys about what they're going to have to now do, which is balance school and the intensity of actual football season? How hard is that when you first get here?
It is tough. It is tough. Coming from the summer, they probably took 1 or 2 classes, just to get them together and get going. Good thing about a freshman year, you are going to take some, some leadership and some accountability type classes, some Auburn leadership type classes, so they won't put them into a whole 15-hour slate of core classes, so that, and then just being able to have a relationship where if it is something that they need or need to talk about, that they can always come to the 5 seniors or plenty of the sophomores and juniors that we have. But I would say knowing that they went through summer, and knowing that they went through the time frame of always having to be somewhere on time in fall camp, I don't think fall would bother them too much.
Gabe, when you hear Coach Ellis or Coach Gardner say that they're worried about the pass rush, what does that do for you as a player? Hearing your coaches express that concern that, hey, this is a big issue that we need to solve.
Oh, I mean, it should light a fire under. It should light a fire under you. I mean, if it had to do with anything, it's stopping the run, pass rush, affecting the quarterback, anything in that nature. If you're a defensive lineman, then you should feel like that's your job. And like I said, that's just one of those things that should give you that extra push. It's definitely not anything that makes me think negatively of the coaching. It's true. We do need to affect the quarterback, especially in this league where there are plenty of great quarterbacks. So affecting the quarterback will only help our back 7, and then our back 7 will help us vice versa. So that's something that we've been really that's really been impressing me these past couple of weeks. Also, pass rush against all the line.
So you're not too concerned yourself about the pass rush right now?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.